What's going on, guys? This is episode 4 of the Right Minds, Right Times podcast, and I'm here with the guest.
What's up, guys?
Cam Higby, baby. Cam Higby.
How's it going?
It's good, man. It's going. How you been?
Pretty good. Just been working a lot and trying to make content.
Yeah, you work at PragerU now, right? You've been working quite a bit over there, and then you got some other thing going with the. I saw you had another Instagram account too.
Yeah. I started a new Instagram account, just kind of experimenting with it and stuff like that. So
Awesome. Well, let's get kind of introduce yourself, like what you're kind of all about, just for the audience.
yeah, so I'm Cam Higby. I've been making content since like 2019. Conservative. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You'd have to ask me specific questions. I'm pretty
just
extensive.
like. Yeah, I know, but are you more for like I know because you and I we kind of started getting to know each other. Oh God, what year was it? It was probably a couple years ago, and we kind of went to DC together. A couple times. We went to DC twice together. The first time, and
Yeah.
I've brought up the DC trip multiple times on here. But yeah, we first went with that pro-life group that we all had together, and then
Yeah.
you and I went separate just from them.
Mhm.
It was just you and I, and you
That
kind
was
of want to talk about that?
Yeah, that was the day that Roe v. Wade got overturned. I was at my parents' house, which I don't go there a lot. It was for my sister's graduation. I think it was her I don't remember if it was her physical graduation or her graduation party. I think it was her graduation party. But or no, maybe it was her actual physical graduation because Roe v. Wade got overturned at like midday. And I was texting you and you were like, oh my God, like we got to go to DC, whatever. But my sister's graduation was at like 7:00 and the soonest flight out of New York to DC was at 7:00. So I was like, all right, I can't come till the morning, but like you get over there and I'll meet you in DC. So then we fly out to DC. Tyler's there like a night before and there's just this massive protest outside. It was just outside the Supreme Court, right? The first night. Yeah. So there's this massive protest outside the Supreme Court. He's sending me like all this stuff that's going on there. I'm super jealous because I wish I was there. And then I fly out the next morning. I get there. I think we met up like around noon. We got our Airbnb. And then we went to protest that day. We ran into Jolly Good Ginger. And God, Walter, I think Walter, right? Or no, was that the first time? I don't remember. They're kind of a blur.
I think honestly, it could have been both times. Or no, it was actually the first time we met those guys.
Okay.
Yeah, because Walter was like twerking on, upside down twerking.
Mendoza
remember that?
Was trying to debate Jolly. I remember.
Yeah. They're all doing their own thing and. Jolly, man, I can't believe they're all in that small group. But yeah, how was that? And how about that Airbnb? Was it just me or was that Airbnb terrible?
Man, I don't even remember. I remember the first one we had was super good. And I also remember that you were just absolutely passed the hell out. And me and Mendoza and Kay were up at like 4 a.m. and you're like snoring on the couch. And we were like, I don't even remember, dude. It's so weird. The first one was good. And the second one, I don't even remember where we were staying. We weren't there a lot. We were mostly
it was kind of like we were. So it was the first Airbnb was cool. We all kind of got a pretty big Airbnb, and it was just like it was 10 of us, space. 9 of us, and we were all able to fit in this, and we had a great time. That was so much fun. And but the second time, we had no idea where we were going to stay. We basically just I started driving, and on my drive there, because obviously you had that whole situation going on with your sister's. You said graduation, right? Yeah. And all of a sudden, I'm just like trying to find an Airbnb as I'm driving. Don't text and drive, guys. But I was just texting. I was just trying to like pull it up. I'm like, where can I sleep? There's like only like a few places left because obviously, I'm booking an Airbnb the same day. So I picked this one place and it was absolutely terrible again there. I think I already explained it in a previous episode, but basically, then all of a sudden you told me I thought you got your flight canceled or your flight was canceled or something. I thought that's what happened and you weren't able to make it. So you showed up the next day and then we just went ham the whole day and just walked around all the protesters and basically asked them all these questions. We were just like trying to get as many conversations as possible. And
Yep.
it was pretty productive at some points. It was mostly unproductive, I think, but I think that was overall pretty great experience. Too bad. Well, it's a
For
good thing
sure.
that there's not going to be a big event like that, like Roe v. Wade. Maybe we'll do like the pro life march. Are you ever gonna do that? Do you ever do that?
I mean, it's more of a struggle to get onto the East Coast now that I'm on the West Coast, but I definitely want to go do more in person stuff. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I
I'd be
feel like
down.
that's like. What do you think about like the man on the street content? Do you think that's where kind of most content, or do you think there's a lot of opportunity in that?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of opportunity, especially if you're good at debating. The only weird thing about it is like, I don't know, it's just kind of weird if you are not at a protest because you really want to debate people, but it's like kind of weird to just ambush somebody with a debate in the street. So you kind of have to ask them normal questions and sort of feel their thoughts out that way, as opposed to what we were doing. Like when I think the first time that we went to DC was like one of the first times that I ever did man on the street content. The first time was at Biden's inauguration, and I didn't really do a whole lot of it. And then the second time was in DC, and then the third time was in DC with you again. And so all of my experiences with man on the street content were at like areas where everybody had super strong feelings, and it was really easy to debate people, and it wasn't like weird to do it or anything like that. And then
Yeah,
now I live in LA, and I go out to the pier, or I go to Rodeo Drive, or wherever I'm going, West Hollywood, and it's like these are just people. These are not people that are attending a protest. They're not people who are attending Joe Biden's inauguration. These are just random people on their day to day doing whatever.
yeah. Well, I thought like since you live in like near Hollywood now, I thought it'd be really easy to have man on the street content.
Yeah, it
Because
is.
it is right. You go. I'm sure there's a ton of extreme leftists on the street that just want to say their opinion out loud, right? So do you find it easy to like get them? Because I understand your point. It's not like that atmosphere where people just kind of want to, like, oh, we're at a pro-choice rally or protest, so obviously there's going to be a lot of people there that are pro-choice and they want to talk about that and this and that. We can debate them, right? But when it's just outside of that, obviously I think you're right. It's a little more difficult. It's a little more awkward, maybe, but still, I
It's not
think
even
since if you're in
awkward, I would
Hollywood, I feel
say.
like a lot of leftists, yeah,
It's just weird, like segueing into the topic, because a lot of times they're not expecting it to be like a political thing. So what I do is I try to challenge their sort of preconceptions of how things are. Like I'll go and ask them. I do my keep it or ban it. So I'll be like, keep it or ban it AR-15s, and then they'll say ban it, and then I will demonstrate to them that AR-15s are not as deadly as they think they are. I'll use like the FBI's Universal Crime Reporting database to sort of show them the amount of people actually killed by rifles every single year, which is it's like 260 or something yearly
yeah,
on average killed by rifles, and that's all rifles, not just the AR-15. So I can't remember the exact percentage that rifles account for when compared to homicide at large, but it's a super small percentage. I want to say it's like 1 or 2%, or
yeah.
maybe
Because
even
knife like killings is like over 2,000 deaths,
yeah.
right?
It's like it's
Something
like
around there.
it's like twice or three times as much. It's
Yeah,
like significantly more than rifles, and so it's sort of like you have this idea in your head that massive amounts of people are being killed every single day or every single week or month or year or whatever by rifles, but in reality, people are rarely ever killed by AR-15s. Like super, super duper rarely. One of the primary reasons for that is probably because if you carry an AR-15 around, people know you have it. You're
yeah.
carrying a rifle around, right? Whereas like pistols are more easily concealed, blah blah blah, whatever. So it's just like interesting to challenge their preconceptions on those things, and then sort of present them with the information that is accurate, and see if their minds change, if they still hold those positions. It's interesting.
Yeah, I think the with the AR-15, I'm glad you brought that up. I think what a lot of people don't realize is that, with Democrats, they always want to ban, ban, ban and have more restrictions on ARs. I just called my local, gun store and I asked them like, "Oh, what about this gun? Can I purchase this gun without my blue card?" It's a rifle. And they go, "Yeah, yeah, it's actually I was asking for my brother and they said, "Yeah, no, you can purchase that without, all you need is your license." I'm like, "All right, what about the ammo?" He's like, "Oh, you're gonna need your blue card for the ammo." And I'm like, I don't. that doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, why would I need a blue card, which is basically what a blue card is a, you need to take a test, make sure that you know how to properly handle a gun and all those things, in order to purchase like a pistol or something, a handgun or a revolver. But you need a blue card to buy the ammo, but you don't need a blue card to purchase a rifle. It just didn't make any sense to me. But like laws like that are so insane. But what's really insane to me is that people don't realize, like, banning guns does not lower violent crimes. If someone truly wants to kill someone, they're going to figure out a way to kill them, okay? Whether it's a knife, their fists, who knows what they can use. But just because you ban like an AR or handguns or put more restrictions on them, all you're doing is you're making it a lot harder for people to basically to defend themselves. So I want to know like your thoughts. Do you kind of agree with that, or?
Yeah, totally. I agree with that. It's interesting because there's also this thing where when you say that you want to ban abortion, the left will be like, oh, well, you always say that banning guns won't stop people from getting guns. It's like, yeah, exactly. The difference is we're dealing with two completely different groups of people, right? We're
Mhm.
dealing with one group of people where you're trying to stop them from having guns so they won't commit crimes. You're already operating under the preconception that this group is attempting to commit crimes in the first place, and the gun is just a means of committing that crime, as opposed to a group that uses abortions to ease discomfort or issues in their own life because it's convenient to them, right? Because it's available, it's there, right? So this other group is already committing crimes regardless of what you do. The guns just make their crimes more devastating. Whereas the group of pregnant women, we have no reason to believe that these people are already committing crimes. So like the likelihood of each of them committing crimes once something becomes illegal is significantly different, right? The criminals were already committing crimes in the first place, so it's likely that they will commit just another crime to get the gun. Whereas like the pregnant woman, as far as we know, at large in general, is not already committing crimes. So if something is made illegal, it's likely that they probably won't do it.
Yeah, that makes total sense to me. I don't understand that with the whole pro-life, the pro-choice argument. That's actually a pretty. I haven't heard that yet. I'm actually surprised I haven't heard that, or that hasn't been brought up in a debate for me. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's like oranges and apples. You can't compare those two things, and it's very dishonest thing when people compare it like that. But yeah, when it comes to like gun laws, right? What I find crazy is just the amount of restrictions that's going on, and um,
Mhm.
but I feel like as the Supreme Court, Clarence Thomas and all the other Supreme Court justices have been really great with gun laws. Like we saw in New York, that Supreme Court case where now you have the right to conceal carry no matter where you go, or to carry in public no matter where you go, right? Like in Rhode Island, what I did was one day I saw that that's what happens, right? So now it's your constitutional right to be able to carry in public. So I called the attorney general's office and I asked them like, "Oh, so can I just conceal carry now? Can I just go on conceal carry?" And they said, "No, you can't. You can't. You got to go
Yeah.
to you have because what was it? They banned the proper cause, right? You needed a proper cause
Yeah.
before that, right? Like,
I
oh, if you
remember
don't have a
talking to you
proper
on the phone
cause,
about that right after. Yeah. Right
yeah, if
after
you don't
that
have
New
a
York v.
proper
Bruin case.
cause, what is it?
That right after that New York v. Bruin case that took
Yes.
that legal justification for possessing off the um, concealed carry application. I remember calling you after and talking to you about it. Yeah, they didn't do
Yeah,
anything about
yeah.
it.
If you don't show a proper cause, like that was in Rhode Island. If you don't show a proper cause, if you don't have proper cause, you can't conceal carry, or well, it's not even legal to open carry in Rhode Island, but you can't conceal carry. So I called them up. I'm like, "Is that gone now? Can I actually just conceal carry whenever I want?" They said no, and I'm like, "Well, that's kind of against the Constitution." They said, "Well, someone's gonna have to sue us." That was their words on the phone. All right, they said someone's going to have to sue us, and then all of a sudden, I looked up. There's already a couple cases going on because I wanted to sue my state. I was like, I'll be the one. I'll figure it out. But that is unbelievable, and I'm not gonna let the state just kind of go against what the Constitution says. So what I did was I just waited on it, and now you're able to just go to my local police station and get a concealed carry permit, I guess. and then you're able to conceal carry that way. So yeah, no, it's kind of crazy, but the Supreme Court, I think, that we have right now is killing it when it comes to gun rights, and I'm really glad to see that. But
Yeah, it's
um
good.
yeah, yeah. So besides like gun laws and all that, how do you feel about the conservative or the Republican movement now? Do you think that we're heading in the right direction,
Ooh.
or
Um. So I felt like this for a while. I think that the conservative movement for a long time was pretty intellectual. It was pretty, you know, everything. There was a lot of like fact-based arguments being circulated. There was a lot of people deploying fact-based arguments against the left, and the left was super emotional or whatever. For a long time, it was like the right got on top by using like intellectual, factual arguments, and I feel like the longer we sort of sit on top and the longer we hold power, the I almost feel like the dumber the movement's getting. Like it sucks.
yeah,
I really want to see it move back in a direction where people are actually engaging in conversation with the left, where they're actually debating, where they're actually like creating and structuring fact-based arguments instead of just sort of making emotional pleas to everything, I guess. It's really discouraging. Um, so yeah, I would just like to see it move more in that direction.
do you see like Vivek? Do you think Vivek's doing that? Do you think he's doing a? Because if you watch because you actually went to the first Republican debate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, how did you think of that? Do you think Vivek's kind of going towards that? Because I think he's really pointing that out. If you looked at the last Republican debate, he called like the Republican Party a bunch of losers. So do you think he's kind of? Do you think he's the one that's kind of? What do you think about Vivek?
I think he makes some good arguments. I think he makes some good arguments. There are some things that I disagree with him on. One thing that he's super right about, though, and he brought this up in the second debate, the one that I went to. He brought up that Republicans are too afraid to be on TikTok. They're too afraid to make actual strides in social media, and everyone freaked out on him. He's right, right? The reason why the
Yeah,
largest voter block that Republicans are losing and Democrats are gaining is Gen Z is because you refuse to engage with Gen Z. You don't do any outreach to them. You disregard Gen Z as like a bunch of crazy people half the time. And I hate to tell you, that's how you lose voters, right? Those people don't want to vote for you if they feel ostracized by you, and you shouldn't be ostracizing them, right? The trickle down, like, we earn your parents' vote and hopefully we'll earn yours. I hate to break it to you, it doesn't work. Like, a lot of those people are leaving their families more liberal than like more liberal than they might have otherwise been, and there's no outreach to them. If you can effectively message them while they're young, while they're forming their political opinions, then maybe you can win their vote. But like, otherwise, we're just going to be screwed. And it was crazy when Vivek said that. He said, like, we need to do outreach on TikTok, we need to have TikTok accounts, we need to message the younger generation, whatever. Everybody freaked out on him. Nikki Haley freaked out on him. Mike
yeah,
Pence freaked out on it. Mike Pence is like, it's run by the commies. Oh, okay, Mike Pence. So this is the conundrum that I have with Mike Pence, right? Mike Pence will say that TikTok is unsafe and it's run by the commies. Every 5 minutes, Mike Pence takes credit for something Trump did. Every 5 minutes, he's like, my administration. Your administration also moved all of the U.S. servers for TikTok to Singapore in the U.S. in Texas so that they would be safe from CCP control. Your administration did that and then conceded that it was safe and didn't ban it. So do you remember that, or do you just only remember all the things that fit your agenda that your administration did? Which is it? Um, I don't know. Kind of weird how fast he was to jump on that. It explains why he dropped out, probably.
yeah. So do you think that like Vivek is like who's your favorite candidate running right now?
I don't know, man.
Besides, ignoring Trump, like all the runners, because I absolutely despise Nikki Haley. I hate just oh god, she just is so fake and such a politician. She just knows what to say to. She's really trying to go after the woman vote. It's just like if you want something said, ask a man. If you want something done, ask a woman. I'm like, well, there goes the majority of half your votes. There goes half your votes, Nikki. All right, it's gone. It's gone. And then she talked about, the her pro-life, pro-choice stance, saying there's a middle ground. I'm like, no, Nikki Haley, it's either that it's a mass killing of unborn children, or it's not. Okay, it's like, and we all know it is. So there's no middle ground. And I hate when pro-lifers say that, is that there's a middle ground to pro-life, pro-choice. There's no middle ground for that, unfortunately. Okay, it's, we have to protect lives, and the best way to protect lives is to ban abortion. Just period. Obviously, if the mother's life is in danger, there's certain exceptions, and some of it's debatable, but no, there's no middle ground, and that's something I really dislike about Nikki Haley. And it actually, even Trump said something, kind of like a middle ground stance, saying that, oh, everyone's talking about 11 weeks. I'm like, no, Trump, you're killing me, man, right? So a lot of these
Yeah, 11 weeks
Republicans
is a
are
little
just
steep.
saying what the mass wants, and that's been really turning me away from that. So, and I just don't know, like, who do you think are like the good candidates, at least, or candidates that are being
Um,
honest?
I don't know. I think they all
Who's
kind of
that North
suck.
Dakota guy? The North Dakota, like
The governor,
Doug, what's his last name? Or
is he the guy who was in the second debate and he was like, the moderators were like telling him to shut up? That guy?
yeah, yeah, he's been
I think
doing
he's
good.
smart. I think he's smart.
Yeah,
And I think he's honest, but I don't think he has what it takes.
I
Unfortunately.
just don't think he knows how to market himself. He doesn't know when
Yeah,
to. He's not going to get the
totally.
popularity from it. So yeah, he's the only guy that I could see that. He sounds like a smart guy, but he just doesn't
Mhm.
seem to have the right charismatic character about him, so charismatic quality. But, so
Yeah.
other than that, I would have to go with Vivek, for me, at least, even though that there's some other stuff with George Soros, and, people are saying all these rumors are going around, but I don't know how true those are. I've done a little bit of research into it. So it's like, why not take this opportunity? It's difficult. It's difficult, but yeah, but kind of going away from, I just want to go away from that. I forgot, I don't want to get too into specifics about that stuff, but I want to know, and what I really like about this podcast that I have, is I want to know, like, what brought you into social media, like what made you start posting content and saying, what, this is kind of what I want to do, even though that conservatives nowadays, or even back then when you started, it was very risky, because as we know, if you're applying for a job, and the person hiring you sees your social media, they're definitely going to be biased. If you get hired by the wrong, or even a conservative, but they say, hey, I don't really want that person to represent my company, because they might cause some chaos, some disruption, so I'm not going to hire that person. Like, what made you start posting content?
Yeah. So I ran a couple minor social media pages when I was super young, like 12, 13, 14, at non-political. And so I was like, like I'm pretty good at this. And then when I was in college, I started running a college affiliate account for Barstool Sports. And then I essentially grew the largest account in the country. Like I had this little tiny college with like, I don't know, 7,000 people at it or something like there was like very few people at my college. Maybe that's even a high estimate. It wasn't a big school. Nobody knows about it unless you grew up in the area. And somehow I just like I don't know how I did. I just like propelled it to be this like massive account. It was bigger than Penn State. It was bigger than all of the Big 12 schools or whatever. I know basically nothing about college sports, so so there's that. But somehow I just managed to like do this account super well, and I was
Yeah.
super successful there. And then I was like, okay, like try, like I think it's been proven that I'm pretty good at social media. So let's see what else I can do. Why don't I start my own brand? So I'd been arguing with people on the internet about politics for a long time, just in comment sections or whatever. So I was like, maybe I'll like take this and I'll like go argue with people. Like I'll just put my face out there and I'll make videos with my arguments. So I did that. And I was like, oh yeah, like these aren't gonna do it. There was like this whole period too where I wanted to be like the Nelk Boys and I wanted to do like prank videos and stuff like that. Total flops. They all sucked. Nothing good there.
You actually tried a
But
couple of those,
yeah,
like
yeah,
prank.
yeah, yeah. And so
Are they
so I
still
st- they
around?
were no, they were like staged. Like it was bad.
Damn.
Like one was like um my friend would like sit in my apartment window, like on the third floor of my apartment, and I would like throw an egg at him through the window and pretend I was like a stranger or something. I don't. It was just the dumbest thing ever. Like total flop, super bad, like not good. And then I was like, okay, I want to put my arguments on the internet, and I did. And I was like, yeah, it's not going to go anywhere. It's like all my other stuff sucked, so it's not going to go anywhere. Whatever, I'll just do it because it's fun. And I did it, and then it started blowing up, and I was like, oh, okay. So, all
People
right,
like
I'll
that.
keep doing this. So I just kept with it, and I just eventually I was an idiot, so I realized quickly that if I'm going to be serious about it, that I need to like get my shit together, and I need to formulate my arguments super well, and I need to make sure that everything that I say, for the most part, is true. Of course, everybody has slip ups, they have errors, whatever. If those happen, then just admit you're wrong and move on. But more than anything, it was like if I'm gonna have a platform, like I'm also gonna have a responsibility to make sure that I'm like telling the truth to people, because they're like looking to me because they think I'm smart apparently. And yeah, and then I just smartened up and just kept with it and just evolved over time.
Well, that's good. Was it like one video that kind of blew up, or was it kind of just
It was
basically
like a couple.
gradual? There's a there. It was like a million. Give me a number. Give me a couple numbers.
It's
Like
like
what kind of
500K.
made you say, "Oh, this is popular," or "Oh, I got something here"? What was that video that kind of did that?
Um, it was just it was I was like making fun of Nancy Pelosi. Like I was like calling her names. It was just it was just ridiculous. Like it was just the dumbest, like lowest IQ thing ever. I was just complaining about Nancy Pelosi. I don't remember. Maybe it was related to a news story or something. Posted it. I had like 2,000 followers at the time, something like that, and boom, like 500K. Now I have
Yeah.
10K followers, and I was like, okay, like, yeah, that's when I was like, okay, I need to get my shit together because like I can't just sit here and call Nancy Pelosi names if I want to be successful, if I want to be true to myself, whatever. Like I know that I'm not an idiot. I know that I'm not like I don't want to be one more of these fake intellectuals who pretends to know what they're talking about and doesn't actually. So I started reading, I started researching, and I got really, really, really good at researching. And now like a lot of my content is based around finding claims from the other side and sort of debunking them.
Okay. Okay. That's kind of how that's where you're at today, is just debunking claims that are made from the left or whatever kind of
A lot of
you
it, yeah.
find interesting.
Mhm.
Okay, that's good. I didn't know that. That's probably, and that's really informative, because that's kind of how I was back when I did the Omega videos. I had that one video pop off, and I had a couple people ask me to debate them. And at that time, I wasn't super informative on the subjects that I was talking about. So I thought I was going to get destroyed in a debate. Okay. So I definitely kind of dodged it a little bit. I dodged it, right? Because I was scared. I'm like, oh man, I don't know what I'm talking about yet, this and that. Like I know his policies, but to me, just my intuition said that they were right. It was my common sense. But do I have enough information? Do I have enough resources to truly back up what I was saying? Not at the time. So that was kind of a wake up call for me. So that's kind of funny that you said that, because it was the same way where now that this video blew up and I have a huge amount of followers now, I have to make sure that I'm informed on what I'm saying and that it's the truth. Or, maybe obviously I could be wrong in the future. I might slip up. We're not perfect, right? But I just wanted to make sure that I did as much research as possible where I could actually debate these topics I was talking about. And, if someone changed my mind, they changed my mind. But yeah, yeah. So that's kind of what I did. And right now I'm kind of trying to figure out what content I want to post. I'm kind of going towards the more, I want to do the like more pro life, pro choice stuff right now. But yeah, so, and I understand you got that account back then to 1.5 million, right?
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah, that's
Then it got
pretty
banned.
impressive. And on TikTok too. Did you feel like it was like a free for all back then on TikTok? Like you could
Oh
post
yeah, it was
anything?
bad. At that time I was the biggest political account on TikTok. The biggest account dedicated to like politics or ideology on TikTok. Is crazy. Uh, in the world too. It's nuts. And yeah, it was total free for all. You could post whatever you wanted. And then, dude, I'm telling you, when I went to Biden's inauguration, right. I think it happened like that week. Trump got like expelled from the internet. And that week is when I started getting banned. I was literally, when I first noticed it, I was in DC and I was walking around for Biden's inauguration. There was nobody on the streets. It was dead silence everywhere. The only people that were out were the National Guard. That was it, because it was right after January 6th. And so I'm walking around, I'm live on TikTok, whatever. There's people watching, nothing going on. So I just start filming some pigeons that are fighting over a piece of bread. And I'm like, I guess this is all that's going on at Biden's inauguration. Some pigeons are fighting over bread. And then I got banned. I got live banned. And I was like, oh, that sucks. And then that day I got temporarily suspended for 7 days, not allowed to post. I didn't even post anything. Like I hadn't posted anything new. There was no violations. And then as soon as that, like, and when I say as soon as that temporary suspension ended, I mean like the second, because at that time I'd never been suspended before. I posted every single day, multiple times a day. It was like what I was doing. It was my job. That was my thing. And so I'm waiting down to the second until I get unbanned. It was Pacific time, so I'm up late waiting to post my next video as soon as the clock runs out. As soon as the clock ran out, the second that it ran out, I got another suspension. And I was like, wow. Okay, that's weird because I haven't posted in 7 days, so what the hell? And then again, following suit, as soon as that suspension ended, another one followed. Again, no time to post in between. I physically couldn't have posted in between these suspensions. There was no violations, and then it was just suspension, 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 suspension repeatedly over and over and over and over and over and over again. And then eventually I would continue to be suspended. And I would start emailing TikTok, and sometimes they would lift the suspensions and I'd be able to get a post in, sometimes not. My post would never get taken down. And then one day it was a permanent ban. And I was like, okay. And then I emailed TikTok and my account got unbanned. They said, you have no violations. We've restored your account. Thanks. Temporary suspension. Not thanks. Permanent ban. It happened. Permanent ban. I don't know how many temporary suspensions. It was probably like over 100, quite literally, like maybe 200. Permanent bans 70 times. They permanently banned me and restored my account 70 times. And then I got complete radio silence from the TikTok community manager or whatever. I don't know if she got fired, probably for unbanning me. They probably fired. I'm just kidding. But I don't know. She just went total radio silence, and my account just remained banned for a long time. Periodically, every, maybe 6-7 months, they would get unbanned again, and I'd be able to post for a couple days before they banned me again. And then recently, just after I started my new job, back in, had to have been September, October, maybe November, I got unbanned. Everybody at my office knows my story. They know that I've been banned a quadrillion times. And so I'm like, holy shit, it's been literally over a year since I've been unbanned. And I'm like, oh my God, like this was my full-time job before. Like I have it back. I have 1.5 million followers now. This is amazing. Like, what am I going to do? So we start taking bets. I'm like, all right, guys, how long do you think it'll be? They're like 2 days, 24 hours, blah, 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 whatever. I'm like, I'll give it 2 weeks. Dude, I shit you not. It was not a full week. It was literally banned in like 3 days. I was like, this is insane. Like my last post was like me doing the Optimus Prime, like, for any surviving Autobots. That was my last post, and then it got banned. I was like, dude, and I had no violations. There was no violations. So long spiel.
Yeah, and didn't you? I thought you told me that you had access to the CEO of TikTok's email, and you were emailing him personally.
I did for a little while. Kevin Mayer, he was the old TikTok CEO. He used to work for Disney. They fired him.
But you did talk to him for a little bit. Did you go back and forth? Like, what was those emails?
He was great. Yeah, he helped me a lot. Yeah, he was great. He did a lot to help me, not just with that, but with any other errors that I had with my account. He would direct me to the right people. But I noticed that the people he would direct me to, they would only respond to their email if it had Kevin's name at the top of it, which is honestly ironic when the policy director won't answer your emails, but the CEO of the company will, especially when it's such a massive corporation like TikTok. It's kind of pathetic, honestly. But Kevin helped me a lot. Super, super nice, cordial, good dude. I mean, not like I knew him super well, but he treated me very nicely. So I was very appreciative.
That's
Um,
good.
and as soon as he got fired, it was like hellscape.
Yeah.
Vanessa Pappas took over as the interim CEO of TikTok. Now she's like the global head or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah. And
just been
didn't
a
you
shit show.
like, so you had that 1.5 million and then something happened where all of a sudden, you know, I want you to talk about it, but it like they changed your name to a very just
Hmm,
randomized name, right? And then
I forgot. Yeah.
that satire account, right, came along. So if you want to talk about that, I thought that was crazy.
Yeah, yeah. So this actually has actually happened again since then. So basically, what happened was this is somewhere, and I also want to preface this too by saying around that time when they were banning me 70 times in a row, after my account started getting those temporary suspensions, it was like a chain of dominoes. Like every conservative account
Hmm.
on TikTok started getting banned indiscriminately, regardless of how many followers they had. Most people didn't get unbanned. I went crazy with it because it was my job. Like I really needed to get unbanned. Eventually realized it wasn't worth it. Okay, so somewhere in that mix, at some point, they banned me. But they didn't just ban me. They changed my username to a bunch of random numbers and letters. I was fighting with this guy, Modern Warrior. He was this crazy Native American guy who thought he
Yeah.
was right about everything leftist. Um, I was arguing with him, and his followers raided my account. This is the only time that I genuinely think that it might have been the result of like mass reporting, because the other times it was like so systematic that there's no physical way that it could have been mass reporting. Like when those bans end, immediately another one happens. Like it's not physically possible for people to report me that fast. But with this, I think that it might have been the result of mass reporting because my username got changed. Um, and it got changed to a bunch of user 3B8, some random like nonsense. And my account got banned at the same time. So I couldn't log into my account and change my name. Or no. My account wasn't banned yet. It got banned right after that. But they changed my username to a bunch of random numbers and letters or whatever, so nobody could search my name and find me. And they banned me from changing my profile details. So I
Mm.
wasn't able to actually like edit my name and change it back to Cam Higby. And then somebody stole my username. Cam Higby, like just my name, like the name that is on my license. They just took it. And so that was now a random account with 0 followers username. And they were like, yeah, you can have it back for $2,000, something like that. Like, are you like really? Like you're extorting me now? Like, like what is this? And so, yeah, no, it was crazy. And TikTok didn't get back to me. The account got banned. I asked TikTok to remove the username from the people who mass reported me and then stole my name. Because really, they should have. That was their fault that happened. They did that. Like TikTok allowed me to get my username banned and banned from editing profile details. Like, why is that even a thing? So
They
that's their
planned that
fault
all out.
that
There's no
happened.
way. Yeah, there's no way.
It,
Like they
it was
planned that out.
insane.
This 100%. And then wasn't that account though? What I was trying to get at wasn't that account? Didn't that account post a ton of satire stuff about you, where they're kind of like making fun of you and all this stuff?
Oh yeah. A
Yeah,
bunch of there after that happened. There was like an uprising of like fake Cam Higby accounts, and they would all
bro.
they would all clip my content and make it look like I was saying something different. Or I started a new account and I was like, this is my real account, and then they would clip it up so it was different. Like I'm like, don't follow this account. This account is fake. And they clipped it so I was saying that like my account, the account that I was posting on, is fake, and that their account was real. And I was like, this is just, I can't do this, man. And so they
Oh
gained like
man.
they gained like 1,000 followers just from people thinking it was literally me. And I'm like, bro, like what the hell? And they were just clipping fake stuff. It's like pre AI deep fakes, man. Like
Bro, that
it
is
was just
so
crazy.
funny to me, like so unfortunate, but that is so funny. Like these people have absolutely no life where they can do this stuff, you know?
Yeah, I'm like, what? Like, don't you have to go to school or something? Like,
No, I guess not. I guess they have time to watch all your videos and be able to take enough videos and clip it into a way where they can say they can make videos like you saying a certain thing, right? And I don't know. Those like the haters are so funny to me. You know, it's just, and especially with you, like you've been banned 70 permanently banned 70 times. I've only been permanently banned one time. And you had all those restrictions. You were emailing the CEO of TikTok, emailing back and forth. Who knows how many emails you went through, right? And you somehow still
Right.
post. And now you have an account that's up to over 500,000 right now. Which and you got it back.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. It's at
clearly
600.
you, yeah, 600,000 now. Like clearly you know what you're doing, right? So is it like I know it's frustrating, but how do you keep on going, man? You know, because I guarantee most people would have quit by now if they were you. If they had this much, backlash or all this hate towards them, like most people would have crumbled by now. So how do you keep going?
I'm a bitter asshole. Um, I'm just not, dude. I'm just not gonna let them. I'm not gonna let them deplatform me to the point where I live. Dude, I've had so many accounts that just reach like 60K and then get banned. Like, I wish I could just. If I had all of them back, like all of my banned accounts, it would be well over 3 million, like probably like close to 3 million followers, and I would be like Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet. Like, but I'll never
Oh,
get them back,
GG's.
and
Yeah.
it just sucks. Like, but yeah, I'm not gonna let it shut me down. I'm gonna keep going. They can try to shut me down as much as they want, and I'll be here. I'll
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
be
So it's
around.
like, so what's the plan with because you have like over 60,000 followers on Instagram, right?
Hmm.
So
Yep,
do you think it's easier to do you think it's harder on Instagram to gain followers than like TikTok?
for sure. Yeah,
Like what do you think
definitely
that is?
bigger.
Because I feel like there's I know a lot of conservative creators that actually have more followers than they do on TikTok. So maybe they just kind of something stuck on Instagram and then they
It
go to
could
TikTok
be
and it's all trash.
It could be because maybe I can grow real easy on TikTok because people know my face, and so every
Mm,
time I get banned, they just see me again, and they're like, "Oh, there he is," and then they follow me. So like it could be that is like
yeah.
all the people there are familiar with me, and they see me and they refollow me. They can find me easily. Maybe it's that. Whereas like it's not the same with TikTok. Maybe it's because I'm more familiar with TikTok, so I think that it's easier to grow there because I know how to get in the algorithm on TikTok as opposed to like where Instagram I don't. It could be that. I don't know. It's probably a
Do you
combination
ever
of.
think about focusing more on Instagram though? Because I feel like Instagram is definitely less censored than TikTok. Because obviously I don't really post on TikTok anymore because it feels like whenever I do, it gets taken down, either the same day or the next day, any video I post. So I haven't been really posting on TikTok. I've been trying to, with videos that don't seem too
Mhm.
bad. But on Instagram, I've really never had a video taken down. So it's like,
I mean, I post on
do
both.
you post on both?
Yeah, I just take my content. I just put it up on both. I haven't had a video go down in a really long time. Well, I had one go down recently, but I think it was a glitch. But it's like other than that, since my account got unbanned, because this 600K account, that one was banned for a while. That wait, actually, ironic story. I don't know if you remember this, but that account, the account that I currently use, got banned for like a year the day Roe v. Wade got overturned. I don't know if you remember that happening, but it had like 400K at the time. I grew a lot by reporting on the Afghanistan situation. And I made a video saying like, "Oh, Roe v. Wade got overturned." I didn't even take a position. I was just like, "Roe v. Wade got overturned, guys. Like this, what happened? Blah blah, whatever." Boom, banned. Like account just permanently banned. And I was like, "Okay, well, I just booked a flight to DC, and I'm gonna go film content, and now I have nowhere to film content."
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So
Now I remember.
yeah, I was like, I don't have anywhere to post this stuff. So like, what am I gonna do now? And it sucked. And then they around the exact same time that my 1.4 or sorry 1.5 million account got unbanned when I moved to LA. I filed the appeals at the same time, and that account also got unbanned. But that one didn't get rebanned; it's still up.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe they're going
So
easier on TikTok or something because TikTok is such a bad platform in my opinion now. It's not
yeah,
nice to its creators, it's obviously really biased. It bans so many videos. And I think do you think Elon Musk, I'm curious because I got a theory on this. Do you think Elon Musk has made these big social media platforms censor less because just X is so open and it's such a free for all?
yeah, probably.
Probably, right? Like, I think so. I think that
I
because
think
I think Instagram has been less censored. I think TikTok maybe has been going down a little bit on the
yeah,
censoring.
I never had a really big issue with Instagram. in terms of censorship. TikTok, I always had a big, well, I didn't for always, but after the Trump thing, I had a big issue, obviously. And now I've noticed that it seems like it's gone down a little bit. It could be that. It could also be because TikTok execs are probably terrified that they're going to get like banned in the United States, which is a good thing. I don't
Yeah.
think that TikTok should get banned, but I think it's great that they're afraid it's going to get banned. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah.
So, do you think that being a conservative influencer, do you think are you happy that you took this route? Do you think it's affected you in any bad ways in your life?
Um, yeah, it's affected like the gray hairs inside of my head for sure. A lot of stress. Um, it's definitely, I feel smart though. Like I feel good about myself. I feel intelligent. I feel like my brain is well exercised. So those are good things.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like it's not a great feeling when you open up your DMs and you get people giving you detailed instructions on how you should end your life. That's not fun.
Mm.
Um, but there are definitely benefits. There are definitely drawbacks. It's good to fight for what you think is right. It's good to be principled. It's good to have beliefs that you stand on strongly, but it's also sucks that it's not really a very you have to do super good for this to be like a sustainable career path, which sucks.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's not easy to, and the thing is like people are like, oh, you just care about money. No, it's like, well, if I do this full time and you want my content, it's like I can't just do it for free. Like there it's, and unfortunately, political commentary is not a very good field to do that full time in unless you have really made it. So it's for a while it's a grind, but
Yeah.
that's probably
It's
the
really
biggest
difficult.
drawback. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a huge drawback. I also agree, and I'm glad you said that because I get a lot of people, when I post like, my merch or something on my story or I make a video about it, and this guy's saying, "Oh, he's just in it for the money. He's just grifting." I'm like, "No, I want to do this full time, and I gotta somehow monetize this. If you guys like my content, I want to keep fighting the good fight, but I can't do it for free, guys. So, and
Yeah.
that's what kills me because I wish I could do it for free. I wish I could not like I want to create value for you guys. I want it to be an equal exchange, like I'm giving you something of value and then you kind of, give back like a mutual exchange. So it's like, so that kind of gets me going when people are always saying like, oh, look at this guy, he's grifting or he's doing this for the money and this and that.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I just want to be able to do this full time, even if I just make like the bare minimum. I love politics. I'm passionate about it. I couldn't imagine
Yeah. Same.
myself right now doing anything else. So
Yeah.
so I'm kind of
It's,
glad you said that.
yeah, it's like, yeah, totally. I feel super passionate about it, and it's something that I'm really interested in, and I really enjoy doing it. But it's like if I'm doing, like, I can't sit at home all day and make videos, and if I get a full time job, which I have, right? I think it's pretty evident that since I moved to LA, I mean, you even noticed it when we first started talking earlier today, when you were like, "Oh, like you dropped off the face of the planet." Like, it's like, yeah, like I got a full time job, and it's easy to disappear and not make content when you have a full time job because you come home from work at 5 o'clock and you want to get in bed and do nothing instead of sit in front of a camera and research arguments all night. And those are all things that when I didn't have a full time job or when this was my full time job, I could just sit around and do that all day. I could build a 50-page document on any given topic that I was trying to debate or argue or make videos about or whatever. And I could just do it just like that, right? Because I'm sitting at home all day with nothing to do except that. So it's super easy. But now that I have a full-time job and I need that because I've been banned so many times and I can't make money on social media because of all the censorship, it's like, yeah, well, what do you expect? I disappear. Happens.
Yeah. Yeah. I just got to find
So,
that business, like figure out a
yeah.
business. And because that's what I kind of want to do now is like, I think what my plan is maybe get a work with a right wing organization, hopefully a pro life. I'd love to work for a pro life organization and,
Hmm.
do that and grind this still, because I love doing this. I'm still going to post about it. But, and then, and then maybe just figure out a business idea where I can make money off of it and then I can still do content for nothing on the side. Like I just want to be able to do this. I love doing this. It's always fun. Like the
Hmm.
man on the street stuff, I'm very passionate about, even though I'm really not able to do it. Unless I have someone with me, I go out to, Florida or something where there's like an event and I can have someone with me and then we can go and it's like mutually beneficial because I can't even
Mhm.
find someone to like pay for it, like to pay to record me. So it's a little tough, but
Like you
that's
can't
the
find
stuff I'm
somebody to like
passionate about.
you give them money and you can't find somebody to like actually like want to come take your money, or what do you mean?
No, I can't. I can't find someone to pay to record me. Like hold the camera. I don't want to go alone. I don't want to
Mhm.
record it alone.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
because if I'm gonna go somewhere, I'm probably gonna go to Boston to record it. So, but I feel like
Mhm.
that there's a lot of opportunity with the man on the street content. But yeah, it's really difficult, guys, to monetize as a content creator. It's like it's easy to grift because people say like, "Oh, you're grifting and this and that," but that's not what grifting. If you want to find grifters, go on TikTok and look at those live videos. Okay, those NPCers or those people.
Well, if I
All
wanted to
those types of
grift,
people.
dude, if I wanted to grift, I would just come out as a leftist. Like that's what grifting
Exactly.
is. Like if I wanted to grift, I bet I could make a shitload of money if I just dropped everything and said, "All right, guys, I believe in socialism. I'm a leftist now." Like, yeah, dude, I would
Oh
make so
my
much money
gosh.
because I would be like one of these revolutionary right wingers who switches sides and
Yeah.
betrays all of his friends, and it's like I could fake it and I could make a lot of money doing it, but I don't.
Bro, you definitely you'd kill it. Like I actually have I thought about that a while ago, just starting a second account but being a leftist cuz after debating this, you know what the leftist points are and you don't even have to be educated to be a leftist. You just got to make sure you get all the emotional arguments, right? That's all you got to worry about. So, like if I just wore a mask or something and pretend to be a leftist and got the count up to I don't even know what I could grow it up to. Let's say I got to a couple 100,000, or even a million, right? And then all of a sudden I just come out and be like, you dumbasses. Like, I'm a conservative. I just tricked you all. You guys are all wrong. It's so easy to fool. And this, and I just had that idea. Maybe I would do something at the end a little more witty or clever, but I always wanted to do that, because it would be really easy to make money as a leftist for sure. Like look at
Yeah,
Harry, and I'm sure you get all the great opportunities. I'm sure they get job offers all the time, stuff like that. Like Harry has met two presidents, Obama and Biden, even though they both sucked. That's still pretty cool meeting an American president,
yeah,
So I don't know. It's so tough. It's so tough. But it is what it is. I'm glad I do what I do and I don't have any regrets doing it though. But yeah, so what do you think about what do you think about Harry? What do you think cuz you've had some interactions with him.
so yeah, I mean, okay, so here's my thing with Harry. I actually think that Harry's a good guy. um
If you guys don't know, Harry is typical Democrat on TikTok. He's that guy that everyone talks about. He's like easy dunk, right? So just to let everyone know, if you're curious, if you want to know more about him, look up typical Democrat or Harry J. Sisson on TikTok.
I
But
think
yeah,
that
what were you
Harry
saying?
has terrible views. I think that he has I think that uh I think I would run him through in a debate easily, like a hot knife through butter. It would be easy. I don't think his content is good. I don't think that he has good stances, but I think he's a good person. And I say that because I've spent a considerable amount of time in Harry's lives, sort of arguing with people in his lives, and he's always been good to me. And after my Fox hit, where I had like a panic attack on national television, and it sucked. Like it sucked. It was
Yeah.
really bad, very embarrassing. But Harry actually messaged me after that, and he was like, "Hey man, like you're gonna come back 100,000 times stronger or whatever, like shit like that." And I was like, "Damn, dude, thanks." And Chris too, Chris Mowry. And I was like,
Really?
"That's pretty nice." Like, yeah, I've always been cool with them. In terms of just so I can join their lives and all that, and sometimes it goes from debating to like just shooting the shit. But yeah, no, that was big. Because it's like in a lot of cases, people would just kind of dunk on you for something like that, and it wouldn't have affected. Like I wouldn't have cared. It would be annoying, but it's like
Yeah.
I know what happened there. Like I had a panic attack. It's fine. I'm a human being. It happens. But for them to reach out to me, I thought was really nice. So yeah, no, I think they're good people. I just think that they're not the most informed people.
Yeah. Well, no, well, the whole honestly, I think it's actually probably Like, it's embarrassing, but it's probably going to be beneficial, that whole thing on Fox, because if you like, because you already have come so far, like, Cam, like, you don't realize, like, where you're at, it's already a huge accomplishment, right? So imagine 10 years from now, you can look back at that, what happened at Fox, and all this stuff that happened to you, and just come out on top. It's just,
Yeah,
I like seeing character development, right? And I
totally.
think that
Yeah.
was a very character development moment. But do you think that, what was, like, you just anxious, very anxious at that point? Because
It,
I couldn't even imagine, like, imagine how I would probably be terrified knowing I'm going on Fox News to talk about a topic. And yeah, I could definitely see someone getting totally nervous. Like, no one, they have no idea what that felt like.
yeah, it was crazy because honestly, like going into it, I wasn't even nervous. There was actually this guy. So ATEM is like this. It's like a basically like a camera switching board that, and I have an ATEM at work. And the Fox producer had like a super nice ATEM that was like, it's like basically the $7,000 version of what I have at work, and I
Mhm.
have like the even cheaper version in front of me right here. But I'm like, I can't wait till this hits over because I want to go look at that thing. Like, I want to take a look at it. I need to go look at that thing. So I'm like not even worried at this point. And I'm like, I've done this before. I've been on live television before. I was on NBC on election night, literally on election night. I was on NBC on a panel debating somebody. Um, no issues. I went back and looked at a lot of these when I was like feeling down after this hit. I needed to make myself feel better, and I was like 19, so I was like, damn, dude, I
Damn.
was doing pretty good. And so I've been on ABC Nightline, national television. I've been on Good Morning America. I've had a bunch of interviews with like newspapers and stuff. So I'm like, oh, this is like nothing new. Like, it's fine, whatever. I just had an interview with Politico like a couple months ago. I'm like, this is just stuff that I do normally. Like, it's totally fine. And then I get on, and Laura asked me a question. And it was just like heart beating super fast. And normally for me, it's like, when we're out in DC and we're debating people on the street and stuff. It's like, that's like raw energy. Like, I'm ready to jump on people. I'm ready to I'm ready to go. Like, I got this. And I'm like, okay, that's what it is. It's kicking in the raw energy, like heart's beating super fast. I'm ready to go. And then as soon as she like pivoted to me and asked me a question, it was like walls closing in, heart's beating even faster. I can hear it up here. Throat starts closing up, and I can't speak. I'm like dizzy. I'm like, what? I'm like, oh my god! Like, this is I'm fumbling. I'm like, what am I doing here? And then yeah, I just fumbled, and I was like, all right, I need to get out of this Fox studio. I can't look at the ATEM. I got to get out of here. And so I left,
Yeah.
and then yeah, I just had like a series of phone calls. I just talked to like different people, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, yeah, let's get out of
Obviously,
here.
yeah.
But it'll be better next time. So
I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will. That's definitely not going to be the last time you're going to do one of those things.
yeah,
But it's
it's
kind of
weird
crazy,
because it's
like
never
the character.
happened. I've
Yeah.
never had a panic attack before, so it was super. And I think in the moment more than anything, like I was like terrified because I didn't know what was happening. Like, the producers were in my ear. They're like, what happened? And I was like, I don't know. Like,
Mhm.
I have no idea, but it was terrifying. And then I was like, oh, so that's what a panic attack is. And I always hear about that, like the walls closing in, throat closes up. I'm like, it cannot be that bad. Like, there's no way. Like, it's not even that I didn't think they were real. It's just like your brain physically can't conceptualize what it feels like to have the walls closing in on you, because you're like, there's no way that your brain can do that unless you're on drugs. It can,
Yeah.
and I found out the hard way.
Yeah. 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 Well, besides that, what was it like going on, like, on Fox News? Did you have to go there, to
Yeah.
their headquarters, or whatever you want to call it, to the building,
Mhm.
and what is it in California?
Yeah, they have an office in California. I just went to their studio, and they just set me up, and in a studio they just did my makeup and then put me on, and yeah.
Do they explain anything to you at all, or do they just kind of throw you in there?
They give you like a brief, like a little. I don't know how much I'm supposed to say. They give you like an indication of like what they're going to be talking about. So it's not like you're not going in
Yeah.
flying completely blind. Like you have no idea what you're talking about. Like, they indicate to you what the topic of discussion is, and then you sort of just figure out what you're going to talk about, and then you go in. Yeah, but it's
Gotcha.
not like really.
Gotcha.
There's not like any hand holding or anything like that.
So did you just sit there and wait until she just
Yeah.
cued you in like Cam and then boom? Are you guys like in the same room or are you just like in a totally
Mm.
different room? I always wonder this stuff.
No. I think she was in like a different. Like I don't think she was even in LA. I think she was in New York or
Oh yeah,
DC or
yeah.
somewhere. I don't. Yeah. So she
Different
just.
Fox. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I
Now
didn't know that stuff.
Ari,
I'm
Ari,
always
he was on
curious.
with me. He was like down the hall, but yeah.
Yeah. See, like
So
that stuff I was always curious about. I just like if I
mhm.
was in that situation, I just want to know like what goes on behind the scenes and all that stuff and how someone got that or stuff like that. So that's pretty interesting. That's pretty interesting. I mean, that's still pretty cool that you got on Fox, even though, it didn't end up how you wanted it to, but it's no big deal. It's just a character development, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so going back to your content creation, like what do you kind of see yourself doing in the future, because we've already talked about what kind of got you started with politics, what kind of like in the middle and stuff that happened to you unfortunately, like with the banning and all that stuff. So kind of how do you see yourself like in 2 years or something, next year, or like what are your plans in the future with your content? do you s-
Um.
yeah.
Yeah. I just kind of want to. So a lot of the time that I've been working, I've been not making content. So that's something that I want to change. I just want to sort of make sure that when I come home after work, I'm not just vegging around the house, that I'm actually doing something productive and that I'm making content, so that I'm not completely absent. Because if I have this big platform and I just let it sit around and deteriorate, like what did I spend 3 years building if I do that? So it basically the goal is just stay on top of it, make sure that I'm still posting content. Even if I'm tired when I come home from work, even if I'm not wanting to do it, I just have to make myself do it, and I just have to keep making content. Hopefully, it'll catch more fire and it'll take off more, and I'll become rich and successful and handsome and
Well, you already got you
kidding.
already got the handsome part.
Oh, thanks.
Well, your content that you've been posting recently, like the quality is insane. Like
Think so?
what camera? Like you gotta show me. You gotta send me like the camera, the
I
lens,
have
because
right
I
now I'm
need that.
looking into a Blackmagic 4K with a 18 to 35 millimeter
Yeah,
Sigma
it's
lens.
insane. Like if you guys haven't seen, go look at his recent post. It's so insane. Like his quality, like your quality videos are like the best quality conservative videos out there right now by far.
Thanks, man.
PragerU, what they usually post, nothing compared to what you post. Daily Wire, Turning Point,
Wait. I edit those videos.
Daily Wires,
No, PragerU.
PragerU's.
Yeah, yeah.
Some of them, but not all of them. I'm talking about the ones you posted recently with like your background and everything, because they don't have like the backgrounds you have. You might edit the
I think
videos,
they
but like
have better ones. I wish I had the background.
no
Like this,
way.
these are yeah, no, these are like my studio at work is like that. Like we have nice bookshelf. You just got to watch it. Maybe it's been a while since you've seen them, but it's they actually we shoot at work on a camera that's a step up from this one.
With like the library kind of in the
And
background, the shelf in the background, right? It's like almost like
yeah,
green atmosphere type feeling. Those videos are
blue, yeah.
so quality, man. I'm just like those are the best videos.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
trying
yeah.
to mimic those,
Yeah, those are
So
those PragerU videos are ones that are shot in my studio and on a camera that's exactly like this, except this one's 4K and that one's 6K, and edit them and like I think pretty much like generally the same style. It's like my editing style. I feel is like it's pretty. I
the
don't know. I think
best.
it's kind of bland, but it's
I
like
think your editing style is the best by far, in my opinion. Because if I look at Daily
thanks, man.
Wires, if I look at Turning Point USA, which they need a lot of work, but if I look at any other right wing organization, I'm like PragerU, and I think I've said this before. Actually, no, I think I got an interview with Daily Wire, and they asked me like, which companies do I think post or have the best videos? I think that was one of the questions, and I told them that, um, oh, I say PragerU probably. PragerU definitely has the best videos, the best quality videos, because if you look at the other ones, there's no border, there's nothing, but yours has the whole like paper, how like I don't even know the transition, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Very quality. If you guys haven't watched, like, this man's a genius when it comes to editing. He was born for this stuff. But
Thanks.
I'm telling you, man, I'm telling you, if you just, I know it's tough. I know you got the full-time job and it's like you get really tired after. But if you just stayed consistent with this and maybe posted more on Instagram, like those quality videos, maybe change the style a little bit. Like the Roman Empire video, that was amazing. And I'm sure a lot of you
Really?
guys
Oh,
watching
because I
this have
used
seen that.
Midjourney. Yeah, I used AI for that one.
You used AI?
For the pictures, yeah.
Oh, for the pictures. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that makes sense. But like that video is so well edited, and
Really?
I'm just like I thought it was extremely well edited for me. And I'm pretty good at editing myself, I think.
Damn, I thought it was pretty like I thought it was like I thought the pictures were cool. I thought it was like pretty bland.
It wasn't bland. It was just it's okay to be bland if it's informative, you know? Like
Yeah,
people want
true.
informative videos. Some people want like obviously you have to be able to keep people's attention. Guys, we're going to be honest here. A lot of you guys just can't focus. All right. You watch 3 seconds of our video, like swipe. So we got to like catch your, we got to catch you in like the first 3 seconds, right? You catch your attention. And, but I don't think it was bland at all. I think it was I think you're pretty solid when it comes to your editing overall. Maybe like the first beginning part has to be a little more catching, but
Mhm.
overall
Yeah.
it was solid, man. It was solid. Like
Thanks.
post more like
Appreciate
that.
it.
If you posted like 2 or 3 of those videos a day, I'm telling
Like
you right
history?
now, you get easily over like 200,000 followers on Instagram.
You mean like history stuff?
Maybe history stuff. It isn't even just kind of that style of editing, the
Yeah.
informative, maybe, just stuff like that. Where if you had that style of editing, where it's that high quality video, because whenever I see at least a high quality video like that or that well edited, I know it's going to be a solid video overall, whether it's just the information part behind it. But yeah, so I'm telling you, you post like 2, 3 of those videos a day, boom, you get
Yeah, man.
200,000 followers easy on Instagram.
To try
But
it.
you should, just figure something out. Got to get that business going, get your own business, which is a lot of work, but I guarantee it's going to free up a lot of your time to do all this stuff.
Yeah,
And
man.
yeah, but all right, so we're gonna wrap it up soon, but I just wanted
Cool.
to ask you, one more question, 1 or 2 more questions. So what do you think a conservative could be doing better? Like a conservative today, what do you think they could be doing better? What to help the cause, right?
Research, read books, read yeah, do research, read studies, read books, cite statistics, make well-formatted arguments, and read the other side. Don't just sit in an echo chamber and listen to people on your side and like just yeah, just make sure that you're reaching out to the other side. Follow people on the other side, people who are making arguments on the other side. Read the opposite side. Look, I've got Marx Capital Volume 2 and Volume 1 right here. I've got it. Well, this is actually, or at least read about the other side, right? I've got Mao, a book about Mao's China here. It's written by somebody who evidently doesn't agree with Mao, but I've got a book debunking socialism. You've got to just make sure that you're reading and make sure that you're paying attention to the other side. Know their arguments inside out. If you can, if you know their arguments inside out and you can effectively argue them yourself, you can debunk them. You can pick them apart. So just make
Yeah.
sure that you can do that because you when you debate your topics, when you argue with people about the things you believe in, you know exactly what your weak points are. You know exactly what things you're weaker on. You know exactly what things are going to be difficult for you to overcome. And if you can learn their arguments inside out, you'll also know what those weaknesses are.
Yeah, that's great. Great point. And then, I guess to add on to that, yeah, and your weak points, make them your strong points. That was kind of my thing. Is like if I knew I was weak on something, I do so much more research on that, where all of a sudden that became my strong point.
Yeah,
So
identify your weak points. Yeah.
yeah, identify. That's such a key thing, right? You just want to be a well-rounded person. Be a well-rounded person, guys. I know it's difficult, but like if you know your stuff and you're articulate about it, I'm telling you, it's gonna make you feel a lot better when you talk, when you have debates with people, when you even just have discussions in general. You're gonna feel a lot better because a lot of people don't really know what they're talking about. You ask them 2 questions that kind of dig into their own views, and they're gonna fall apart, right? So don't be that person. Be that person where all of a sudden someone's gonna ask you a couple more questions on, it and you're gonna be able to answer them, and then all of a sudden they're gonna be like, "Whoa, you changed my mind," right? And that kind of leads me to my next question, and it's kind of like the last question, but someone that's like in the middle, right? They don't know, they're kind of in the middle ground, right? They don't know if they're on the right, they're left. What do you say to those people? What do you think those people should do that are kind of lost in politics? Maybe they're apolitical.
Um, I understand this because a lot of people work full-time jobs and they come home and they don't care about politics. They just want to watch a TV show and go to bed because they worked all day. I get it. It's hard. Just I would say if you don't know, then don't vote. But if you don't know and you want to know, then just do the research. Just when you hear the other side saying something that you hear and you intuitively don't agree with it, find out why you don't agree with it. Find out if your disagreement is valid or not. And if it's not valid, then change your mind, right? Like there's a lot of times where people will have these intuitive beliefs where they just immediately agree or disagree with something, and then they'll hear facts that counter their intuitive belief and they just won't switch their position. They'll just continue believing in it regardless of whether or not it's based in truth or not. So just build up some facts and position yourself around those facts instead of having a position and building the facts around your position. Yeah. So just do minimal amounts of research, read the news, watch the news, do whatever. Yeah. Just try to stay informed if you're going to vote.
Well, all right. Well, that is going to be all for episode number 4 of Right Minds, Right Times podcast. And Cam, thank you for coming on. If you want to shout out your socials, go for it.
Yeah, you can just find me at Cam Higby on every platform except TikTok. It's the Cam Higby because they stole my username. So,
all right, guys. Well, that is it. And have a good one.